What's up everybody, got your Sage here and welcome to a new video. This is going to be what if Deku had Escano's power. We're going to start off this video when Deku goes to the quirk doctor. It turns out he doesn't have a quirk and he goes to school the next day. People are showing off their quirks and they ask him what his quirk is. He just says he doesn't have a quirk and people start to look at him different. They pick on him like in canon. Bakugo picks on him, and his mom has been using some drugs to keep up. So this day, Deku was picked on and waiting for his mom to come pick him up. But his mom is knocked out due to the amount of drugs she took last night. So Deku walks into a forest. He walks and he finds a cave. It's a rainy day. So he enters the cave hoping to seek shelter. As he as night as it begins to go dark. It's nighttime and Deku's in the cave is exploring it. As he hits something. He hits something rusty and old. As he tries to check what it is, he feels it and it feels like a pole, a very tall pole. He's 4 years old, remember. I'm gonna say he has a mini torch with him, so he brings it out and he ends up seeing this rusty axe. He tries to lift it up, but it's too heavy. He ends up just sitting down in the cave, waiting the rain out. As he hears something calling out to him, he ends up going out. As he continues to hear something calling out for him, he looks up and he looks at the moon. As he feels something switch, he starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's somewhere around this size, a little bit smaller but somewhere around this size. He finds out that he does have a quirk, but it mainly revolves around the moon and nighttime, seeing as how it got bigger and stronger. But he doesn't think that. He thinks it's some kind of muscle augmentation. He's happy and he decides to go in and try to lift the axe. As he enters, he goes to where the axe is and tries to pick it up. He finds out that it's heavier. It's as heavy as it was, even with his buff form. He tries to lift it up with both hands, seeing that it's still heavy, but he can somewhat lift it. As he lifts the axe, he sees this giant sun coming at him. As he closes his eyes, dropping the axe, he opens his eyes and the sun is nowhere to be found. He tries to lift the axe again, finding out that it's much lighter than it was before. He's thinking maybe what he saw was just like it was holding it down, but it's really weird seeing the sun out of in around midnight. So this happens and he goes home. This is his first time using his quirk. He goes home, he tells his mom, he goes home, goes to his room and waits for the next day, seeing his mom is out for the day. His mom wakes up, time to go to school, and he just tells her that he has a quirk now. She's trying not to get her hopes up, seeing that the doctor already told her he doesn't, and she asks what it is. He just says it's muscle, some kind of muscle power up. As he tries it, he finds out that it's not working, as his mom just sighs, saying maybe he was just imagining it. Deku's confused as he goes to school. He reads school and he tells some people that he has a quirk. They don't believe him and ask him, okay, what is his quirk and can he demonstrate it? He does demonstrate it, but he can't really use it. He can't do anything. He's just normal. They laugh at him and Bakugo starts calling him a liar, saying he's a liar and a loser. Huh, you useless Deku. As he's crying, telling them that he did have a quirk, he used it last night, and they're just thinking he's lying. So he does go back to the cave the next. When he goes back to the cave that day during midnight, his mom is knocked out by the drug again, and he finds out that he does have a quirk, but it looks like he can only use it around nighttime. As he starts training this quirk, seeing that he can't use it around daytime, going out more often and just working on it. So he goes as being quirkless till the beginning of the anime. That's the end of middle school. He the teacher comes in as in canon and he tosses the paper saying he already knows that everyone wants to be a hero. Bakugo goes on with his speech about how everyone is beneath him, and the teacher just says, "Oh, Bakugo, I heard, I see you applied to UA. It's a prestigious school." As he just says, "Yes, that's the only school that is worthy of him." And the teacher just says, "It seems we have another student planning to go to UA." Everyone is looking like, okay, who is it? As he just says, Izuku Midoriya. Everyone turns back laughing that that quirkless idiot. What can he do? He doesn't even have a quirk. As Bakugo is getting mad seeing Deku is, is applying for the same school he's going to, and him seeing that he's the only one able to get in. School ends and Bakugo goes to Deku as Deku is packing up. He's about to take his last notes when Bakugo takes it and explodes it, threatening Deku to quit drop out from drop out from signing up for UA. Deku just standing his ground saying no, nothing can stop him from applying for UA and he's going to be a hero. Bakugo just saying that he doesn't even have a quirk and that saying he doesn't even have a quirk and quirkless people don't become heroes. He's saying he has a quirk, it's just he can only use it at nighttime. Bakugo just saying that even if even if he does have a quirk, it's still useless, seeing as you can only use it at night. That's even if you have one. As Deku's trying to talk to Bakugo and his lackeys start beating on him, and some people are still in class while some are outside. They're just looking at him saying, well, that's the fake quirkless people get, and just shaking it off as being normal. While Bakugo is doing this, Deku is just thinking, why? Why him? He just wants power. He just wants to protect people, to save people. As Bakugo and his lackeys are through beating Deku, they just turn and start going home. They are about to exit the door as they feel this burning sensation behind them. They turn around and they see Deku is burning. Heat is radiating off him. As Bakugo is like, so you do have a quirk. Huh, useless Deku. As Deku just stands up without saying anything. They're thinking of what's his quirk? Is it some kind of fire or heat manipulation or something? And as they just hear the ceiling burst open as the axe comes flying through it. Deku just grabbing the hilt of this axe and just waving it up. As Deku becomes much more bigger, increasing in size and radiating heat. He's around this size, this particular size, as he just looks at both Bakugo and Deku, and Bakugan is like he's saying, "You called me useless. Who decided that?" As he starts walking towards them, the lackeys, the stretchy fingers, and winged person, I don't, they never said his name, are both scared as Bakugo is trying to tell them that it's just a muscle type quirk. There's nothing to be afraid of. As Deku just walks right in front of Bakugo as he just looks down at him, saying, "Just a muscle type quirk. Who decided that?" As he brings his hand up, smacking Bakugo through the roof smacking Bakugo through the roof, making him land outside and out in the field. His lackeys are shocked. Everyone that is present in the class is shocked. As as Deku just turned his attention to both his lackeys, saying, "It's your turn." As he just brings his hand up, retracting it and just bitch slapping both of them outside. They jump Bakugo as they're together. Deku just jumps outside. Deku jumps and he jumps way higher than he thought he did. Seeing how high he got, he's trying to stabilize himself as he brings his other hand out that's not holding Rita, and as he does that, a small ball of light starts to appear. He's still thinking about, you know, getting his grip as he noticed this ball. As he concentrates more on it and pouring more power to it, he finds out that the ball can grow. The ball grows and he becomes a croissant. Well, he doesn't know it's a croissant. He's thinking, okay, what can he do with this? As he decides to throw it as a test run. He throws it at Bakugo and his lackeys as they just see this miniaturized sun flying towards them. As Bakugo is trying to push it away with his explosions, Deku is just putting more pressure continuously on it. As Bakugo is getting tired using his bigger explosions, as his bones start to creak. He's getting tired and he just let it slip and the screw sun hits them, exploding everywhere. As Deku just lands, creating a huge crater below him, as he walks out of it, saying, "Now then, seems this power that I got is from this axe." As he's trying to think about it, a name just pops out into his head. As he's just thinking, how do I know this name? He's just like, so this is Divine Axe Rita? As Mark appears behind him at his back, showing a lion. It's just like, okay, what was that? As he's thinking this, he starts to head home. He goes to the class and grabs his backpack. People are just like trying to ask him what was that. He doesn't give anything. He doesn't give them anything as he just walks out. He's walking home, taking the shortcut as the sludge villain jumps out. It jumps out as it tries to attack Deku, but Deku, being in thought, is unconsciously releasing heat waves. As it tries to jump on him, it feels the heat waves as it retracts itself, saying, "What are you, kid? And why is your quirk on already?" As Deku just realizes the sludge villain is there, he just looks at him and goes back to his train of thought. The sludge villain is confused, saying, "Did you just ignore me? You're gonna pay for that, kid." As he tries to attack Deku again, Deku just yawning as he swings his axe down. It slices the sludge villain in half and creates a shockwave, setting it splattering all over the walls. All Might comes in, saying, "I am here," as he sees the destruction. He is shocked and asks Deku, "Young man, what exactly is your quirk and what happened here?" Deku just gives him an explanation, saying this weakling tried to attack him and he just defended himself. All Might just seeing the sludge villain knocked out is just thinking defend more like attack. If I wasn't a hero and wasn't following this guy, I might have thought you were the one who attacked him. As he just looks at Deku, seeing how muscular it is, as he's almost his size, he's just asking, "So, what is your quirk?" As Deku just saying he doesn't know yet. He is still figuring it out. He just got this quirk. As All Might is asking, "You just got the quirk?" As he just says, "Yes." It seems that the axe, as it points to divine axe, Rita, just Rita, as he points to the axe, saying it is a part of his quirk. As he just asks, "Okay, what does your quirk do?" He just tells him he doesn't know yet, and once he does, he's he just says he doesn't know yet. As All Might just ask him, will he be, as All Might is thinking he might be a good successor, as he asks him, will he be uh, participating in the UA entrance exam? He just says yes, he will, as All Might is thinking if he can give him this quirk, it might just merge with his, and he might just be able to pass it on. As Deku goes home, his mom just sees this big muscular guy with a son's face on it. She asks him, "Izuku, are you?" As Deku just cuts her off, saying, "Yes, mother." And she asks him, "What's with the accent?" As he just says, "This is, I think this is part of my quirk." She just tells him, "Your quirk?" He just says, "Yes," as he points to the axe, saying, "I must have gotten it from that." She just asks him, where did he get the axe? He just saying he got it when he was in a cave one day. Seeing as she didn't come early, he just wandered off, and he found a cave and found this in it. And she's like, okay, let's go get you reevaluated, seeing as you have a quirk. He's just saying, oh, I don't feel like going today. I want to test my quirk for now. As he tests his quirk that day, so the next day they go to the quirk doctor. The doctor is shocked seeing that Izuku is this big muscular guy. He's asking how did he get this, as he just says he just got his quirk. They ask they're like, impossible, you're not supposed to get a quirk. And it says here you didn't have a quirk for the past 15, I think it was 15. If not, he didn't. uh, I'm going to make him 14. They're just telling that in their database they haven't classified him as a quirk user, and for the past 15 years. He's just saying that he knows, and he just got his quirk quite not quite recently. They're kind of confused, saying that's impossible. You must have gotten your quirk at least around the age of 7 at most, and just saying he does have a quirk. As they run some tests on him and see that he's greatly strong, powerful, he's strong, fast, and he can use some weird attacks. As they also record that the uh, the brighter the sun gets, the more stronger he gets. Basically, over time, he can get stronger. But they also find out that after some time, around 3, he he starts to somewhat shrink. Not as fast as Eskimo would have, but just he stops getting muscular and just starts shrinking. But they also record that around 12, he's just a beast, somewhat like this. This is how Deku gets around 12 o'clock. They record that 12, as he hit 12, they were testing and he hit 12, Deku just exploded with power as he becomes this form. They're telling him what's happening, as Deku's just like, I don't know. As he's trying to reduce or at least stop himself from exploding, seemingly, as he's growing much bigger and bigger. They're telling him he needs to keep his power in check or exhaust it somehow, or contain it. As he's trying to contain it, let's just say he dropped his axe during their testing, as his axe starting to vibrate and give us heat. As the axe just jumps up, going straight to Deku, as Deku instinctively just grabs it, as the axe just shines brightly as Deku starts to shrink. Now he somewhat goes back to this form, but is still a bit muscular. As they're just like, okay, seems the axe can absorb most of the energy it gives off. As they're talking about this, Deku is just, as they're about to name his quirk or just assign his quirk as something that absorbs solar energy, he tells them he has another quirk. They ask him, oh, that's 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 not possible. He only has one quirk which they just recorded, and that's solar absorption. solar energy absorption. As he says no, he says around nighttime he gets stronger as well. As they don't believe him, one doctor says, "Why not? Why not let us test that theory?" Says if you seemingly have another quirk. As Deku drops his axe, saying, "Fine." As about, I'll say about, they came in around 5 and they did at least 3 hours of test. No, they came in around 11. They did testing and they asked Deku to wait till it was somewhat around 8. I know it's long. As Deku waits, they're still performing some tests. As Deku waits, it's around 8 o'clock. As the as it starts to power down, he's around Escanor, he's around his normal body, and Deku has been training his normal body. He's around Canon Deku muscle, if not a bit stronger, but now he's around that size. So he goes back to his normal size as they're just saying. So what about your the quirk? He said you get stronger at night as well. And it's night. As Deku just says, don't worry, it's going to happen very soon. As it's 7:59 at 8. As 8 as it clocks 8, he grows in muscle, only by a little. As the doctor takes notice of this, saying, "Oh, he might really have a second quirk, or maybe just a half and half quirk." As they wait a little before they decide the quirk, decide what the quirk is, whether it's an half and half quirk or a different quirk. As time goes on, around 9:08, around 9:10, Deku's around this form again. He's not around this form, but he's getting to this form. As he grows stronger and stronger, he's telling he's telling doctors that, what did he tell them? He told them that he did have a quirk, but they didn't believe him. They're just astonished at how this quirk works, saying he might just have an half and half quirk, but they don't know if it gives out the same kind of effects. As around 11, Deku's starting to enter the one mode, but for night. As he hits 12, Deku becomes this mode again, but instead of red yellowish flame, it becomes blue flames. As they're telling Deku he should be able to control it, since he's been he's been telling them that he had this quirk since he was 4. Deku's just saying no, he can't. He's been able to somewhat control it, but it's still too powerful for him. As they're trying to look for a way to contain this power, the egg starts shaking again as he jumps towards Deku. Deku and the doctors are surprised as Deku starts to shrink down again. They're telling Deku how he got the axe. They're asking how he got the axe and what else can the axe do. Deku just replies that he doesn't know how he got the axe exactly. He just know he did, and he just he knows the axe name along with the tattoo behind him. There, Zuko's mom, Inko, is actually asking about the tattoo as well, as he just says that he got the tattoo when he got the axe, so he just appeared there. And I know this is not how it works, but let's just say this. As the doctors perform their final tests, They're trying to look for a name. Trying to look for a name. They go on deciding to call it some kind of sun power, as Deku just says, since he gets stronger the brighter the sun shines, why not just call it sunshine? As the doctors kinda agree with it because he's the owner of the quirk, as they tell him, okay, what about the moon? What about the night one? As he's been thinking about this, about the name of his quirk, as he just says, how about moonlight? And I've watched a couple of videos like that of Kerisho Minaku, if that's how you pronounce his name, or Kerisho Minaku. Yeah, he did what if they call it sunshine as well. So yeah, not like this. I don't really remember how Deku actually got the power, but he has, I think he had sunshine and is it lunar? Yeah, I called it lunar, something like that. I had been, you know, thinking about this, and so I just called mine moonlight. So Deku, they classify his quirk as an half and half, being sunshine and moonlight. So Deku's been training with these two quirks through the entire 10 months, and it's time for the entrance exam. So Deku is walking towards the UA gate as people are just staring at him, seeing this huge supposed boy is also going to take this exam. They're just wondering if he's a pro hero or if he's just a person who's overstayed, a person who's just overaged, or maybe it's his quirk. As he walks in, he takes the written exam and he gets around 85. He gets around the canon score as it's time for the physical exam. So, Deku doesn't bring Rita at first, so he doesn't talk to Uraraka because he doesn't trip. And yeah, it's time for the entrance exam, and Deku's just chilling at the back. His people just see this guy with muscles. Supposedly, he's the same age as them, and is younger than some of them. As some people try to go talk with him, as Deku is just shunning them off. Some people think he's cocky, something arrogant. Deku is just shunning them all off. As uh, President Mike says, "Go!" Everyone's running, and people are just seeing Deku just crossing his hand and just waiting for all of them to go. At least before he shows off, all of them are destroying robots, and some just thinking that kid's too cocky. Doesn't he care about the physical exam or something? As Deku just brings out his hand. As he brings out his hand, some people can see this shiny object flying in. As Deku just jumps up, grabbing the axe and creating a cruel sun under him. As he floats across the city, basically to the part where people haven't been in, half that would be half the city. Because I'm going to say around 200 people applied for UA, and if we do the math, that's 100 points for 200 people, and some people are not going to get 100 points. So yeah, Deku just flies over the part of the city where they haven't been at, as he just creates another croissant. He creates it as it grows bigger and bigger, as Deku just compresses all the energy and just sends it down. gently saying Crew's son. As immediately as it hits the ground, it blows up, wiping out all the cities. Oh, sorry, it wipes out half the city. As I'll say half the city is 1000 points and the other half is 1000 points. It wipes out half the city as the teachers are just shocked and surprised, seeing how powerful this kid is and how he just wiped an entire half, he wiped half an entire city, saying he's quite strong, as Nestor says, as Oma is just thinking, he might be a worthy successor, but with a power like that, he might just be too powerful, saying there will be no other competition to push him, saying, well, you'll have to find someone else. It's a shame, but he's too strong. As Oma is thinking this, Deku's just dusting himself up, saying, well, I think um, I've done my job here, as he's planning to fly away with the crow's son. He hears a scream for help, a cry for help, as he turns and sees Uraraka. He's just thinking the others will help her as he sees everyone running away. He turns his head and sees the zero pointer and just sighs. As he comes down from the crow's son, it dissipates as he just points his axe at the zero pointer, saying, should this should be fun. As people start shouting he has a weapon, that's not fair, he's not supposed to have a weapon. Deku just yelling back at them, saying this weapon is part of his quirk, and if he didn't have this weapon, well, he'd kill all of them. There are people about to talk as they hear he might kill all of them if he didn't have the weapon. They just shut up. Deku just swipes his hand as people think he's going a bit cuckoo. He swiped at air as he swiped his hand, the zero pointer's arm just falls off, exploding. They're like, he just swiped air and sliced the zero pointer, saying how strong is he? As Deku just sighs, saying, so, you were just big for nothing. I thought I could have my fun, but seems there's no one, you're not strong enough. As he just points his hand, saying Crew's son, as he wipes out the entire upper half of the robot, of the zero pointer. He goes to Uraraka, lifting the rubble off her, asking if she's hurt. She said she might have twisted her ankle as he carries her to recovery girl, to the medic. As people are about to ask him about his quirk, he just jumps off, going home. Anyway, guys, I'll see you on the next one. This one I'm going to be ending it off. Bye.